The polar vortex split in two. Yep, what does it really mean? Well, get ready for some wild weather from Europe to the US. Boy, we've been having wild weather here with our temperatures in the US high. Well, the splitting of this polar vortex, what it really is just this notorious swirl of winds around low pressure areas in the upper atmosphere over the Arctic. And yes, it split in two. Now, since the polar vortex tends to be associated with some of the coldest air during winter, the split, which is more likely temporary, it's happened before. Don't panic or worry about it. I know some of you have wrote me notes. The polar vortex split, don't be afraid of this. This is something that does happen, okay? It's temporary. And what it means is the ultra cold air is on the move. Now, it sounds very complicated, okay? Well, it is. It's trying to forecast the rest of the winter weather during the winter months. And when it splits, it's kind of hard to do. But with this one splitting, the way that it has, it seems to likely put Western Europe and much of Eurasia into the deep freeze for the rest of February and probably some of March also. Now, while all this cold is going on in Europe and Eurasia and those areas, during the same period, right here, we know it's true, eastern U.S. has experienced something of a spring thaw. Our temperatures has been as much as 20 to 25 degrees Fahrenheit above average for this time of the year, and highs in the 70s Fahrenheit are possible all the way through the end of this month in Washington, D.C., New York City areas that saw record cold at the start of the winter. In these areas, that's why it's so warm now in these places. Now, back to the polar vortex itself. One piece of the vortex right now sliding southwest out of the Arctic and into western Canada and the Pacific Northwest, where frigid conditions and above average snowfall is favored for the next few weeks. Another is spinning out of the Arctic over Eurasia. Now, caught in between the Arctic Ocean, which should have some of the coldest air of any region in the northern hemisphere right now, but instead is seeing yet another unusually mild winter. The polar vortex's split means that the ultra cold air is being siphoned away from the Arctic, leaving the unusually mild conditions in its wake. Don't be surprised if the Arctic sea ice sets yet another record for low winter season this year, okay? And the main polar vortex, where does it exist? Well, it's in the stratosphere, which is the layer of air above where most of our weather occurs. A sudden warming of the stratosphere over the Arctic, appropriately known as a sudden stratospheric warming event. It took place early in to mid-February, and this is called the splitting. This is what is called the splitting of the stratosphere polar vortex. So I just wanted to do a little bit on the polar vortex split so everyone would have a little better understanding of what's going on with it. Yes, that's why we've seen such warm temperatures. Wow, yeah. And that's why some have seen such cold temperatures. Our friends in Canada, brr, I feel for you guys. And over in Europe and Eurasia area, you folks are still going to have it. Cold, 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 cold. So with that all said and done, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, get all of my weather videos as I put them out and all the rest of my news videos. Thank you so much for doing that. Thanks for the upvotes. Thanks for sharing this information, everything you do. With that all said, I love you guys. You know it. Much peace, love, and kindness to all.